injured here. 1v1 Fedrid Folly, blue side. It's Tex playing a Plague Champion, starts off range combat with this damage over time bolter. Versatile commander that can be very effective in melee combat, can build turrets and repair, but lacks mobility. And up against on the red side is Toilailee's Lord General, fights range combat, has a retinue to help him out, very good defense and support. Fedrid Folly then, custom 1v1 map, a very well made one. Not sure why it's not played more often. There might be an issue with it that I don't know about. Natural for Tex in the north, natural for Toilailee in the west, and a contested VP in the southeast corner. Tex going for Chaos Space Marines into Heretics, some more Black Legion, running into Guardsmen here. Central power point and wreck point going to be taken by Tex, it looks like. Toilailee double Guardsman into the Sentinel tier 1 vehicle that can decap points but cannot cap them. Multi-las turret doing some pretty good damage on the Plague Champion there. With 6-8 hit points, he is reasonably tough for a ranged commander. Can be supported by Nurgle worship of course as well. Power point and wreck point are both taken. Sentinel will try to decap it. Here comes the Lord General. Stormtrooper retinue firing. He wields his bolter one-handed with an augmetic arm. Chaos Space Marines taking cover and forcing the Sentinel back to repairs. There is the ground pound upgrade. Southeast has been taken by the other Guardsman squad, and double Sentinels for Toilailee. Heretics come in northwest to cap. Lord General reinforcing his lost Stormtrooper. Quite a durable commander since he will always die last. And you can get 3 more retinue members. 4, 5, 6, 500, 2-to-1 cap for Toilailee. Havoc on the way for Tex. Ground pound on only 1 Sentinel so far, gets the stomp though on the Chaos Space Marines and forces them to retreat. Double Sentinels can be very annoying to deal with in the hands of a good player. Toilailee trying to take down the Plague Champion in melee combat here. Lord General is very useful for tying things up in melee to protect your Guardsmen from range fire. Heretics will retreat, unable to finish the cap on that southeast VP, and Toilailee is taking the map here. Havocs are set up with a heavy bolter that suppresses infantry, so won't suppress the Sentinels. They will take a lot of damage if they get close though, with only heavy armor on them. This is Beta 7, can't think of anything off the top of my head that would affect this game apart from Sentinels being affected by melter bombs, in that they are snared now, which could come into play if we see Raptors into tier 3. 441, 500, there's the 1-to-1 cap. More Chaos Space Marines for Tex, heavy tier 1. Some repairs on this Sentinel, and he's locking Tex into base here with some Nurgle worship up. Both Heretics in their default melee state with Doom Blast. These guys going after this multi-las turret being put up by Toilailee. There is a stomp though, damage, knockback and a stun, and the Heretics are forced off. Lost 3 models. Here come Chaos Space Marines trying to force melee. There's another stomp though. Both Sentinels now with the ground pound. 50 requisition and 15 power to get that upgrade. And look at this repair going on from Toilailee. Very nice pressure play. The node is being taken down by the multi-las turret. Switches targets to the Havocs, who instantly suppress these Guardsmen, as you can see. Very good at suppressing, even for a setup team. Plague Champion has the Bile Spewer, short range flamer type weapon, shooting Nurgle gunk instead of flames. Very good against structures and clumps of light infantry. Can also use bilious discharge, and there it is to snare movement. It also passively reduces damage and speed as well. I'm not sure by how much though. Look at the map, almost completely red. Toilailee has a double cap southeast, uncapped. He only has 2 Guardsmen and his commander to cap with as well. Tex has 6 capping units. Sentinels can decap of course. being repaired here. 373, 500. Toilailee yet to lose a VP off his counter. There's a stomp on those heretics, aspiring champion heretics for Tex, trying to finish this cap, and they should be able to do so. Aspiring champion gives them a health buff. He's also pretty tasty in melee combat himself. Makes them pretty dangerous little squad in tier 1 especially. Sentinel backing off. Double CSM will put some pressure on Sentinels, especially if they can get Eternal War, and even further if they can get Marquis Zinch in tier 2. 364, 497. Lord General is going to get meleeed by these CSM. Chaos Space Marines are pretty effective in melee combat for a ranged squad. The stomp hits one of the squads. Here's some Nurgle worship. Those heretics need to be careful. Nurgle worship does not affect the squad that is worshipping. Same deal for all of the Chaos worships. This is a messy engagement here. Another stomp goes down, and it's double Guardsmen versus double CSM. They should be forcing melee, and they now are. These guys retreat without a loss. These guys staying in there. They've done a lot of damage to these Guardsmen. Looks like Toilailee retreated the wrong squad there. Chaos Space Marines are chasing them down though, and now they retreat without a loss. That was some pretty decent pressure from Tex, allowed him to take this north victory point. The centre is also being capped by heretics. Havoc's moving up, and this is a power harass from Tex with the Biosphere all the way on the other side of the map. Can pretty much deal with an entire farm by himself with the Biosphere. Also allows him to level quite effectively since he's damaging all models in an entire squad, so if the models die he'll get some XP for it. And of course hitting gens gives you experience as well, so he's already level 2. The Plague Champion has the Lord General leveled? No. Taking quite a lot of damage. Good synergy with the Mucus Discharge accessory, I think, since you need to get reasonably close to use the Biosphere. Down goes the node. Can he finish off this entire farm? No, he can't. Down goes the Plague Champion. Got focus fired by the Sentinel and double Guardsman there. What is this Sentinel up to? He's going to decap this VP, I think. Did he already decap this one? I think he did. 364, 458. Chimera on the way for Toilailee. Tex still in tier 1. Could go tier 2 though. And Havoc gets flanked and runs away. The double Guardsman easily able to keep the Sentinel in play there with repairs. Here come aspiring champion heretics. Are they going to rush the Sentinel in? Try and rush it and fake it out with a stomp. Some Nurgle worship and Chaos Space Marine pressure I think would be the best choice. But he's going to try and cap with the heretics, I think, yes. Double Guardsman and Sentinel. Here comes the other Sentinel. Are we going to see double missile launchers from these Sentinels? There is the refractor field up from the Lord General. That's given to him by his Commissar retinue member. Some Nurgle worship here. Not much cover for these Chaos Space Marines to use though. These plants here will give light cover. Also those small ferns. Here is touch of Nurgle on the heretics. Global ability of the Plague Champion turns your heretics into a walking bomb, literally. Big area effect damage, knockback and heal with every model loss. Great synergy with Doom Blast. And forces off the double Guardsman, and Sentinels backing off as well. There's the last detonation. Doesn't want to detonate his aspiring champion, so retreats them. There's a good stomp, catching both CSM, and here's the Plague Champion again, trying to finish off this last generator, and he should be able to, and then retreat afterwards, I would think. Chimera is on the field, support vehicle for Imperial Guard, allows you to reinforce and transport allied infantry. Plague Champion did take the generator and then runs away. 362, 458, still a 1-1. Tex with the double coming soon. Heretics capping here down to 4 models. Tex is tier 2 and gets a Blood Crusher. Blood Crushers are actually very good at taking down transports because they can chase them down and do pretty decent damage to all targets. Transports generally cannot deal with vehicles apart from the Rhino, which can get a las cannon. Even then, the Blood Crusher will probably do pretty good to it since it will need to keep moving and might not be able to hit it all the time. 362, 430, Sentinel decapping, very low, needs some repairs, and there they are, Guardsmen repairing quicker than other repair units in the game. The same rate as Commanders, I believe. so the same rate as the Plague Champion. The Lord General cannot repair. Some people ask me if he can. He's actually one of the few commanders that does not start with any abilities, alongside the Hive Tyrant. So they do have passives, of course. The Hive Tyrant has his Synapse, and the Lord General has the advantage of having a retinue. Marco Zinch on the way for these Chaos Space Marines. Gives them Inferno Bolts for their bolters. These guys already have it, and this is a nasty upgrade. 18 DPS Inferno damage per model, and that really stacks up, and it does full damage, I think, to all infantry types, including commanders. Refractor Field helping out, but does get into the Chimera now, and Chaos Space Marines forcing melee on it. Doing pretty decent job getting rear arm hits there. Havocs, what do they have? Mark of Pawn, yes. Gives them an auto cannon, good damage to all targets, and small area effect. Getting rearm hits, and they take it down with help of the Blood Crusher from the flank. Nicely done from Tex. Didn't even see that guy coming in. What is that stuck there now? Lord General in retreat. Blood Crusher will get some hits. We have a missile launcher up for the Sentinel, trying to get some crack missiles on the Blood Crusher. Can alternate between frag and crack. 331, 424, 2-ton cap for red. Toilailee losing his Chimera. What does he do now? Ogrins perhaps, but that's still a risk with touch of Nurgle Heretics around. May be some Stormtroopers, I think. One of each Stormtrooper kind would be decent. Try and put some grenade pressure on this ranged CSM blob. 328, 412. Here we see Marco Zinch from a single 3-man squad. You saw the damage it did to that Sentinel there, but they are forced to retreat. Did not want to eat another frag missile barrage, and we have double frag missiles going off from these Sentinels. They're still both level 1 though, forcing off those CSM. What am I hearing? It's Heretics even, almost whapping. There is Bilious Discharge, but it misses the Lord General. It's not always that easy to get that thing where you want it, when you want it. It does take about a second for the ability to activate and then travel and then settle into the snare. Lord General forcing melee on the Plague Champion, but here come Heretics. What's going on here? Blood Crusher going after the Sentinel. Sentinels need to switch to cracks. Backing off though to be sure. We have Plasma Gun Guardsmen, so they'll be able to put some pressure on those Chaos Space Marines. Double Plasma Gun Guardsmen, in fact. 2-ton cap for Tex. 328, 352. Tex preserving all of his squads so far. Can he preserve this Blood Crusher? That was nasty. Double frags going in on that Havoc. And again. And they retreat. Didn't want to eat that. And CSM retreat. Tex seems to be unable to deal with this little blob that Toilailee has down here. 328, 338. But look at the map for Tex. He's taken almost a complete northwestern side. Here you see the Commissar retinue member for the Lord General. Not sure what the retinue members' individual stats are like, how much health they have, how much damage they do. Mainly used for the abilities, but they do make the Lord General obviously a bit tougher and better in combat generally. You do need to pay for them each time they die though, which is a huge drawback. And they are generally quite cheap compared to the other accessories in the game. The retinue members take up the Lord General's accessory slots. Blood Crusher now under some Nurgle worship. It is a demon, so will benefit greatly from worship. Has vehicle armor. Heretics unable to decap. 328, 308. Tier 3 for Tex, and it is Ogrins from Toilailee. Ogrins relatively expensive, 450 and 90 power. They are basically the Imperial Guard's equivalent to a Walker, with heavy melee damage and very good line breaking abilities with their Bonehead Leader. And here comes the Bonehead Leader. You do need to pay another 30 power for this guy though, bringing the squad up to 550, 120, which is in Walker range. They of course have the advantage of being able to retreat. 319, 307. Do not have a way to break suppression though. Havocs have the autocannon, so that's not really an issue unless Heretics run in, which could be dangerous. touch of Nurgle. Havoc's running away, having difficulty making these guys perform with double sentinels with those frag missiles going in. Now he's hitting power is Toilailee. Ogryns with their melee heavy damage are pretty damn good at hitting generators. One generator goes down, one node goes down. But here are some Markers each CSM, 2 squads of them, and they now get their aspiring champions, so they are putting out some crazy DPS. Here come the Ogryns to try and tie them up. Heretics as well in turn going into the Guardsmen. There's a very good stomp though. Havoc's getting too close surely. Ogryns are in amongst those CSM. He's already used Touch of Nurgle twice that I've seen, and the second one didn't really do a whole lot because they were stomped. 319, 287, there is a creeping barrage from the Lord General's global bar. Very good destruction and pretty decent damage if it hits you directly. CSM backing off. That gen farm was completely raised by Toilailee, and now he's decapping it as well. What's going on here though? Blood Crusher checking out this power, but it's empty. Bile Spear, Plague Champion, now level 3, has the Armour of Pestilence. Now that is a strange combo. Armour of Pestilence and Bile Spear is going to be tough, but very, very slow to get close to use that Bile Spear. 3119, 281. And there's a stomp from the Sentinel now, level 2. The other one is also level 2. Toilailee done a good job generally to look after his Sentinels. Tech's going for a Dreadnought now. He stayed in tier 2 in the end. Down goes one of the Sentinels. Tried to use the stomp, couldn't quite manage it, and Guardsmen are in peril. 3 models do get away though, and here come Ogryns, forcing the Chaos Space Marines just to retreat the hell out of there as soon as they lay eyes on them. Here is the Chaos Dreadnought. Starts off with this autocannon. Good damage to all targets with small area of effect. Can get 2 marks of Chaos to upgrade that weapon or change the weapon. 319, 244. No sign of marks yet. And we have another Chimera, no doubt to support these Ogryns with reinforcement. Blood Crusher is there. Was that the best idea to get another vehicle with double cracks and Ogryns around? Maybe he's just trying to give Toilailee too many vehicles to deal with, which can be a viable strategy. Just throwing too much vehicle armor at your opponent that they can't deal with all of it. That was Aura of Decay from the Plague Champion, who now needs to flee from the Ogryns' ability from the Armour of Pestilence. Blood Crusher is taking a lot of damage here. Ogryns chasing it down as another crack missile going in, and we have a Mark of Tzeentch Dreadnought. Very, very powerful anti-vehicle upgrade, but here comes Touch of Nurgle Heretics again, forcing off Ogryns. That's what it can do, forcing off a 550-120 unit with that global ability, and takes down 2 models as well. 319, 170. Unless you can snare the Heretics, there's not much else you can do but retreat the heck out of there, or try and tank the damage, of course. Dreadnought under pressure, taking crack missiles. We do have the Sergeant retinue member up for the Lord General. They see him on the front right, can distribute medipacks. Lord General getting very close to those Havocs and took a lot of damage. In fact, all of his retinue's gone. 319, 152, 2-to-1 cap for Tex. There is Bilious Discharge, snaring the Lord General to a crawl. Double Plasma Gun Guardsman coming in, putting pressure on a Plague Champion, but he's so tough now with the Armour of Pestilence. He's tanking the damage, and a Dreadnought survives, or does it? Sentinel going into base to finish it off, and does so. Nicely done. Need some Nurgle worshipping base to heal up that Blood Crusher. 319, 136. Could have been very, very cheeky and tried to finish the Blood Crusher off there. Blood Crusher does not benefit from increased health regeneration in base, unlike infantry do, and monstrous creatures do. Ogryns forcing off double CSM, but they did wipe the power. 319, 124. Lord General coming southeast to cap. Can Toilailee turn this around? He's got the Chimera, he's got the Ogryns. Ogryns are still level 1 though, double Plasma Gun Guardsman as well, quite dangerous. Sentinel still just level 2, and here's a heavy turret going up Toilailee is going to try and keep the pressure on here. Global ability of the Lord General starts off with this big Vanquisher Cannon type thing. Very good damage to large targets. Can be given the Executioner. And he's going to wipe this power, I think, with Ogryns and Sentinel and Guardsman all firing at it. Not to mention that turret, and here is the Executioner upgrade. Gives it a rapid firing plasma cannon, and look at the damage this thing does. Good versus all targets. Doesn't have the range of the Vanquisher though, and there is a noxious cloud, and that is devastating for Toilailee. Lost at least one Ogryn, lost two Ogryns in fact, lost a bunch of Guardsmen, but that's not too much of a big deal. Loses another Ogryn on retreat. Guardsmen did get into the Chimera. You sort of damage that thing can do. One of the great globals that the Plague Champion has. Sentinel backing off from double Malchazine. What level are these guys? Level 3 and level 3 have done very well. Guardsmen getting out of the Chimera, now reinforcing 2 at a time off of it and repairing the Sentinel. 289116. It's a 2-to-1 for Toilailee though. What is this? Something's trying to cap. Aspiring Champion Heretics, level 2. Lord General's there but doesn't really want to mess with them in melee. He's going to stay back, try and get some model losses in range. 280-116. Malchazine CSM, look at the damage that Sentinel, no chance at all. Lord General now has the sniper rifle, can use that to increase the range of these double guardsmen. Usually paired with stormtroopers. As you can see, Toilailee is pretty hurting for resources right now, having to constantly reinforce these Ogryns and repurchase the bonehead as well. Ogryns really do bleed you quite badly. 277-116. 1-to-1 cap. 75-15 to reinforce those guys. Good grief. Lord General backing off the VP, but did cap it. It's a 2-to-1 for Toilailee. Central Rec Point is fully matured for text, plus 30. Heretics choosing to repair the Blood Crusher. Since it is a vehicle, you can worship it and repair it. Kicking off here. Foul Spear on those double guardsmen. There is the Bilious Discharge. Pretty sure it does not affect vehicles though. Here come Ogryns. This is dangerous, but he does run away. Might have been thinking about charging up Aura of Decay, but he does run away. 252-116, and Toilailee retains the southeast. What's going on northwest though? Blood Crusher, Havocs and Heretics are going to try and take this VP and hold it. Toilailee staying east, putting some more pressure on power. It looks like that heavy turret incidentally did go down. Those heavy turrets have vehicle armor, not building armor, so you can't take them down with flamers and stuff. Well, you can, but it'll take you forever. Generator will go down. Both players stuck in tier 2 with the very good power harass from both sides. Double CSM coming up to halfway through level 3, and another Chaos Dreadnought, this time with Markov Khorne, makes it into a beastly melee walker. Gives it a Blood Rage ability as well. 239-110. Chimera is there supporting this blob. You see that yellow glow, that is from the fire on my target, increasing a range of these guardsmen, doing a lot of damage to those CSM and force them off. There's a creeping barrage from the Lord General. Here comes the Chaos Dreadnought. There's Blood Rage, causes you to lose control of the Chaos Dreadnought. Plague Champion's level 4 now. Looks like the Chimera will easily avoid damage. Maybe not. Looks like it's slowed. Nope, does get up the ramp okay, and the Blood Rage has worn off. 239-86. But here comes that Blood Crusher, which is still around. Level 2 getting rear arm hits. Heretics are there. Havocs need to turn around. Can only fire within their arc as they are a setup team. Blood Crusher still chasing it. Can it finish it off? Heretics will just get in the way, I think. Chimera is still fleeing. You see the guardsmen can fire out of the Chimera. One of the unique things about Imperial Guard, you can fire out of their transport vehicle. Markov Khorne Dreadnought making stormtroopers run away in fear. They do have anti-armor kit though, melter guns and a melter bomb and infiltration. Very, very powerful anti-vehicle squad. But is that going to be enough versus a Blood Crusher and a Mark of Khorne Dreadnought? It should be, since he has Ogrins as well. But it's a close run thing. 239, 57, 2-tone cap for Tex. Looks like double CSM and Heretics are going to cape southeast as well. He might get a triple, and he has pretty much all of the map. This is not looking very good for Toilailee. What could he have done differently? Double Sentinel's a mistake with double missile launchers. They were lost in a flash. There is the Melter Bomb on the Dreadnought, still getting attacks off, but will have snared movement. Can they finish it though? Stormtroopers getting shots. There's a Noxious Cloud again. Needs to move it though onto the Stormtroopers. He's not moving it. Trying to take down the Ogrins with it, I think, but down goes the Dreadnought. Blood Crusher does survive and gets a sink kill on the Stormtrooper. GG, says Toilailee. There's the double cap. Looks like it is a hollow victory, taking down the Dreadnought. Toilailee referencing the awesome Plague Champion Globals, and there is the victory. Toilailee conceding. Very nice game from Tex. Preserved all of his squads apart from the Dreadnoughts. Havocs did struggle to make an impact, I think. Did well a couple of times though. Touch of Nurgle, as always, was awesome. Did the other Heretics? Yes, he had double Aspirant Champion Heretics in the end. Did the CSM reach level 4? No, they didn't. Blood Crusher did very well, got level 3. Lord General was level 3 also with the sniper rifle. Should he have got melter guns for his Lord General? Was up against a decent amount of armor today. Ogrins, I think, generally struggled. So much resources spent reinforcing these guys. So expensive to begin with as well. Thank you for watching, guys, and I will see you next time.